EFlite Spitfire. Having a little trouble with one of my ailerons fluttering, but against all odds I decided to go ahead and try the flight because I'm just anxious to fly it or whatever. I don't know. It doesn't seem to lose control during the episodes it has, but it starts fluttering at some point. But I am still able to, it starts doing it on its own at some point, but when I flutter the stick, obviously that'll initiate it, but it seems to still have connection, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a try, see what I can do. The dramatic gear on this plane are so cool. Let's see if I can get them. Now these are so close together. I tend to not like aircraft with the gear close to each other. Look at that beauty. Man, this thing looks good. I sure hope I don't crash. That 5-blade prop is so dramatic and cool looking. All right, nobody else is at the field. So what I'm gonna try to do is get it up in the air, get the gear up, and then maybe adjust the camera. Maybe go a little higher than what I am now, because I'm gonna get nothing but ground. So without further delay and stalling, all right, I hadn't flown this in a really long time. Didn't expect it to torque as much as it did. Obviously, this is one of the ones that need a full rudder at some point. So, glad I decided to stand behind it. My gears look crooked, but I'm gonna go ahead and go with it because I'm so much committed to this flight at this moment that it's gonna happen. Alrighty, let's get that lined up there. Alright, gear up. Adjust that angle. Alright, this is an EFlite bird, an older one that is not for sale at all, obviously, because you can look at their website and not see it. I'm gonna go ahead and take this time to be blinded by the fireball to take my note to get on the other side of the runway, and I'm gonna come around. Man, that thing looks so cool. Oh, that was a pretty looking pass.
Time remaining 4 minutes.
Kind of a fast turn I did without slowing down a lot. Oh, beautiful when they fly by like that. I don't know what it is about a flyby with a warbird. Just my thing. I love it. All right, come back around. I have not tried the flaps, or it's been probably a year since I've flown this bird. So let's see what the flaps do. Straight on the runway. And one click. Almost uneventful.
Landing flaps.
Landing flaps. Maybe doing something, but nothing
Normal mode.
too aggravating. Let's get it back home. Or not home, but coming this way. I'm not a big flyer of really far out. Some people take these planes so high and so far away that it's like a dot. And I'm like, why? Where's the enjoyment in that for you? I don't get that, but I like to fly close where I can see it. This is a 1.2, so
Time remaining 3 minutes.
not exactly a tiny
Landing
bird.
gear down.
So you can see it from pretty far away, but you know, it is kind of crazy sometimes when I'm trying to film somebody and their plane is literally a dot. And there's no amount of zoom that's gonna make that look clear. Man, look at that with the full flaps. I hope I wasn't off camera for that, but you know, sometimes when you're landing, you're almost like, you know, frozen, basically. I couldn't do much. So,
Normal mode.
this thing is so cool and, you know, awesome at the same time. With the way it looks, it's just bad, just bad. All right. Let's see if I can get another takeoff. Probably should have did a touch and go, but I like landings. You know, to be honest with you, while I'm flying, and you can kind of watch the video and still get the flying as well as me yapping, because you don't need to hear anything. This bird's pretty quiet. Whoa, kind of like did a little hot rod thing on the end of the runway. I feel like I forgot what I wanted to say now. That takeoff kind of totally distracted me. Oh, that's what I was wanting to say. So like my whole deal on got a little worried then and pulled up maybe too hard. My whole thing with takeoffs and landings and touch and goes. A lot of people train to land doing touch and goes, where I feel like touch and goes can be counterproductive to landing normally. And my thought, I don't know, you got to do them to understand what I'm talking about. And I know most of you guys who look at this video will have done probably tons of them, more than me. But I feel like the characteristics I use to land slightly alter compared to touch and go. Because touch and go, I'm not really committing to anything. You know, I'm still getting a decent amount of power. And I touch down and I'm, you know, and I come back up. Whereas landing, I got to be in a good position for that bird to stop for the end of the day, you know?
Normal mode.
So, I don't know. Kind of like what I've formulated. I'm probably wrong. You guys can correct me in the comments. That's fine. Just my thoughts on it. No big deal.
Time remaining 2 minutes.
I don't know why I didn't fly this bird more. I do know why. So, when I first started, and throughout that time, I was kind of almost scared of certain birds. When I first got this thing, trust me, I was amped up to fly it, and I did maybe a couple of times, but just to make sure it worked and just to check it out. But I was kind of like not wanting to mess it up really, you know, bad, because it's like something that you can't get parts for. It's older. You might be able to eBay it out. I stalled a little bit there, so I had to kind of reconfigure that landing. And oh, I was off frame, but when I rolled into the grass, I don't have reverse thrust, which is something I might ultimately end up doing with this bird, because, you know, I don't think it's something I'll probably ever sell. It's such a cool one, and discontinued, and, you know, all of that stuff. But that was a couple of little hops for you. Takeoff, landing, a touch and go, and another landing, to get a kind of, you know, idea how the characteristics of this is. I would say get one if you can, you know, but they're not available new. You might be able to find somebody on a forum selling one or online elsewhere, but not really something you could just pick up every day like you know, can the new stuff. So that's my spiel on it. It's awesome. I didn't see any of that fluttering while I was flying, and it kind of settled down. Looks like maybe it needed a good flight to put some juice through the circuits. Once again, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.